No England players, but big on Portugal, Germany, Italy, and of course Holland. Welcome to my team selection for match day 1. I'm feeling pretty locked in. It's been weeks of tinkering. So without further ado, let's have a look at my 15 players. Here we go. So we're going to start, of course, with the goalkeepers. Two 4.5 million options feel sensible in this game. You can spend 6 million on the likes of Donnarumma and Neuer. But for me, when you look at the 4.5 options and even the 5 million options, Jordan Pickford's a lovely shout. I like Verbruggen and I like Lunin. They don't play on the same day in match day 1, which is also important with goalkeepers. Remember, you're making substitutions in this game. So if your first goalkeeper doesn't perform, you just switch them out for the second goalkeeper. But if they play on the same day, that will sting you. These two, I think, do play on the same day later in the group stages. But my chip strategy is effectively 4 free hits if you play FPL. I'll be wildcarding in match day 2, limitless in match day 3. In match day 4, we all get a wildcard. So I'm just building a team for match day 1, and I'll be doing that just for that current match day for the first 4 weeks of this game. When we look at Holland and we look at Ukraine, they're both in groups where you back them to qualify and back them to win a couple of games. We're not sure if they'll finish top or second in their groups, but I fancy both these guys to finish in the top 2. Of course, you can still qualify by finishing third in this tournament. But both Lunin and Verbruggen, good, I think, for clean sheets. And Verbruggen has been confirmed by Koeman as the Holland number 1. He hasn't been priced as a Holland number 1, which is why at 4.5, he's an absolute steal. Shall we have a look at the back 5 then? This is where I've had tons of tinkering. I am pretty sure I'm going to go with double Italy defence. Now, when we look at the bookies' odds, Italy are the most likely to keep a clean sheet of all teams in match day 1. They've had 2 friendlies, like all teams, just going into the Euros. They've kept a couple of clean sheets against Turkey and again on Sunday night against Bosnia. This is a backline that I think is going to keep a clean sheet against Albania. So with that in mind, DiMarco gives you tons of upside. I'd say DiMarco is the most obvious pick in the game. A 5 million wing back. Yeah, playing for a good defense, set pieces, tons of attacking potential. I've also gone for Cambiasso. Now, this is the controversial one. I've spent 100 million. I would love to find 0.5 somewhere because I'm not sure if Cambiasso is going to start. I would say Cambiasso is about 55, 60% likely to start. But Buongiorno, who is 4.5, is like 75, 80% likely to start. And the Italy backline is still up for grabs. Like we don't know what Spalletti's going to do. I've got a predicted 11 coming out very shortly, guys, on Italy in the next couple of days. But Cambiasso is a punt because of substitutions in this game. I guess I'm willing to have an enabler like Cambiasso in. If he does start, I could get points galore because he'll be starting as the right wing back. We've even seen when in the first friendly against Turkey, when they played a 4-3-3 and Cambiasso came on, he came on in the front 3. This is a 4 million defender who is going to be super, super advanced. So Cambiasso and DiMarco in. As I said, if I've got an extra 0.5, I spend 4.5 and get Buongiorno. Speaking of attacking defenders, though, let's continue the theme, shall we, with fullbacks or wingbacks, because Frimpong has also been confirmed by Koeman, who's telling us a lot in these press conferences. He has said, I could absolutely play Frimpong as the right winger and Dumfries as the right back. Those two, it'll be like you go, I go. That's super advanced. And again, I like Holland for the group they're in. I see goals, especially in match day 1. So Frimpong, if he starts, he's going to be in the front 3, effectively. You want him in the front 3, listed as a defender, 5.5 million. Cancelo is Portugal's best defender. Like, if you can't afford him, you could go to the likes of a Dalot. But the thing is, we don't absolutely know Dalot is nailed. Cancelo, for me, is worth the extra. You get one of Portugal's most creative players. When you look at the group stages in terms of chances created and assist threat, Cancelo's right up there. He also offers a bit of goal threat. So 6 million for Cancelo is worth it for match day 1 because I like the opponent. Czech Republic, I think, are pretty weak. I expect Portugal to score a few. Chance of a clean sheet, but I'm really picking Cancelo for the upside in terms of attacking threat. And then the gift in the game, the 4 million German defender, no one can pronounce. No one really knew who he was, but he's in everyone's team. So he's going to be the starting left back. Mittelstadt against Scotland. Will he keep a clean sheet? He's got a good chance. But 4 million, if he doesn't, he doesn't, you know. So look, that's the back line. I'm feeling pretty confident on the back line. I guess Frimpong is the one that I could get a bit twitchy on, same as Cambiasso, because both Frimpong and Cambiasso aren't, you wouldn't say, nailed. Do I think they'll both start match day one? Yeah, they've both got a good chance of starting. And if they don't, it's not the end of the world. You've got subs in this game, and you're going to be making substitutions, guys. So let's have a look at the midfield. Before we do you fancy hitting that like button? That'd be awesome. If you're new to this channel, you've never watched my content before, then thank you for joining. Please do consider hitting that subscribe button as well. That'd be amazing. And if you've got a comment, questions about your team, let me know. This is kind of my locked team, but I say locked loosely. I feel like it's locked today, but I'm sure come the deadline, there'll be one or two tweaks. But genuinely, a lot of the players in this team have been in this team since my first draft, and I'll run through which ones at the end of this video. They're absolutely locked. Before we see the midfielders and the forwards, shall we have a very quick look at some data? So in terms of, this is from 11fly on Twitter, check them out. Group stage clean sheet odds. Match day one, we can see that's filtered by column. So for the first three games, you can see who's likely to get the most clean sheets. England, Germany, Belgium, the top three. But if we just look at match day one, Italy, the most likely to get a clean sheet. The bookies back them at over 50%. Likes of England, Germany, Belgium, all around that 40% mark. Portugal too. So it's interesting to consider. The bookies actually don't think anyone will get a clean sheet, because if they think it's 50% plus, other than Italy. Italy are the only team the bookies say, I think they're more likely to get a clean sheet than not. Really interesting. You can always back a team to score a goal, remember, even the likes of Georgia and Albania and Slovenia. Let's have a look at the midfield then. Here we go. This is where it gets exciting. Guys, this team has triple Belgium attack. I've just told you one of my forwards there. Trossard and De Bruyne are in. Trossard is wearing the number 9 shirt, I think. He scored against Luxembourg the other day. He's playing in a front three of De Bruyne, Lukaku, Trossard. Now, I just like the fixture for Belgium, and I like the group as well. So can Belgium go big in match day one? Well, if they can, Batici's getting points. Trossard, De Bruyne in and amongst it. I do think Trossard's expensive at 8 million. My first draft had De Ketelaere in at 6.5. He's just not going to start. If I knew Doku was starting, maybe I'd go there. I think Doku's got a good chance. There's Bakayoko as well. For me, Trossard just gives me that assurance. You spend a little bit extra, 8 million. There's a good chance he plays 90. I think against Luxembourg, he started and scored in the 81st minute. So I'm assuming he played 90. And De Bruyne, we know what he does. So away from Belgium, Bruno Fernandes is an absolute must. His stats have been insane. And if you can't afford Ronaldo, then I think you've got to cover the Portugal attack with Bruno. We still don't know what that front three, front four is going to look like at Portugal. They have their squad depth, I would say, is the best of the Euros. The likes of Diogo Jota, the likes of Neto. Premier League fans know these players. They're probably not in the starting 11. There's Conceição, who's brilliant on the wing. There's Rafa Leao will probably start, but no gimme. João Felix probably won't start. So again, when we look at the Portugal attacking lineup, all the players I've just mentioned could start match day one. The ones we know absolutely will are Bruno and Ronaldo. Therefore, they are the two safe pits in the Portugal lineup. Now, I can't afford Ronaldo. We'll see my front three in just a second. I could find a way of affording him. I guess I'm not prioritizing him, but I do have Cancelo and Bruno to help cover some of his points. The Germany attack is interesting. I would love to be able to spend 7 million on Asane. Again, probably not going to start. The likes of Florian Wirtz, however, much more nailed. Same as Musiala. Musiala 8.5, Wirtz 7.5. Havertz will start up front. That's pretty much been confirmed in a press conference too. I just backed Germany for home advantage, although they haven't looked brilliant in recent times, including in the last couple of friendlies. But Wirtz has had a great season, the home advantage. I fancy them to beat Scotland, and it gives me a captaincy option for match day one. Remember, we're moving captaincies every match day here. If your guy doesn't perform, it's stick or twist. Brilliant part of this game. Højbjerg is 5.5 million and actually getting some attacking involvement in recent friendlies for Denmark. He's an enabler at 5.5. The two midfield spots that I've been moving around on a lot are Trossard and Højbjerg. I could have a 7 million and a 6.5 million in there. I don't know, Kanalogu and of Turkey and Xavi Simons of the Netherlands. At the moment, it's Trossard and Højbjerg. That could swap. They're the two midfield spots that I guess you could argue are up for grabs. So at the moment, the spots in my team that are up for grabs, I'm going to say Frimpong is nailed at the back. Cambiasso could change to Buongiorno. Højbjerg and Trossard could change to any two midfielders around the 6.57 million mark. But at the moment, I think I'm pretty set on Trossard and Højbjerg. So there we go. It's all feeling pretty comfortable, pretty set. There's no England in here. But that's because I'm on that chip strategy of 4 different teams for the first 4 weeks. I'm going to have loads of England players, guys. There's no hate here. I just don't want them for match day one. I think Serbia are better than we're giving them credit for. However, when we look at the goal scoring odds, England are fancied. Let's have a quick look before we see my forwards, guys. Appreciate you hitting those buttons, by the way. If you're new around here, please do hit the subscribe button. England, the bookies reckon England have got 2.5 goals in them for match day one, which is interesting. I wonder if that's changed slightly. I got these odds from 11 Fly, which I think were done before England's defeat to Iceland. Portugal were back to score more than 2 goals. Germany are back to score more than 2 goals. France the same. Belgium the same. Spain a little bit under 2, the same as the Netherlands. So it's at 1.8, 1.9. But Italy are also back for 2 goals. So these are the teams the bookies think will score the most based on bookies odds. So when we're looking at our match day one teams, we really want to be filling them with attacking players from England, Portugal, Germany, France, Belgium, and Italy. Now, I've got all those teams covered, other than England, who are most fancied, which is really interesting. So I guess for me, if Harry Kane does go, chicken oriental, or Bellingham, these players are really highly owned. Foden will be highly owned. Then it's a bit risky. But you've got to take risks in this game. This isn't a game where there's going to be a set template. If you've played FPL and you get to the point in the season where you go, oh, everyone's team looks the same. We've all got Haaland and we've all got Salah and we've all got Palmer and Foden. It gets a bit boring. And you feel like if you don't own one of those players, because the world and their dog will own them, you have to go there. Well, in this game, every player in the game is under 50% owned, I think, other than Mbappe. There is no player where you have to own him or you're going to get really buried. Mbappe, yes. Other than Mbappe, though, everyone's below 50% ownership. So you haven't got to be too worried. Not that ownership should really, I don't think, ever change your decisions. You should be picking the players that you think will get the most points, always. When I look at the most selected players, Mbappe is at 77%, Kane 47%, Bellingham 43%, Wirtz 38%, Frimpong, again, because of the recent press conference, knowing Frimpong's going to be in the front three, Frimpong is 34%, Van Dijk 33%, Rudiger 32%, Foden 30%, and then you get to the likes of Bruno, Theo, Hernandez, Rodri, all just under 30% owned. So there we go. The template isn't set, and there is no template. Absolutely love that. Let's have a look at my forwards then, shall we? No Ronaldo, no Kane, but I do have Lukaku. I do have Mbappe, and I do have Scamacca. Let's talk about Lukaku first, though, because this is the sleeper pick for me. I'm really surprised Lukaku's not in more teams. Like, why is Lukaku? Why are we not beelining for Lukaku? He's 9 million. Like, Lukaku performs, I think, like a premium. He's 15% owned. Kai Havertz has got higher ownership than Lukaku, who's a proven predator, who plays Slovakia in match day one. He's only 9 million. He's been scoring in the friendlies. I really like Lukaku, and he's been setting my team since I made my initial draft. So Lukaku's in. Mbappe is the other one. This is a choice here. I can only have Mbappe or I can have Kane. I could have gone Ronaldo too. Save a little bit of money. I just think Mbappe match day one is the pick. I don't have any other French cover. I do quite like the France fixture. Austria's an all right opening game. It's not the best. Austria actually caused Italy a few problems in the last Euros. He scored 9 goals in qualifying. He scored 6 assists in qualifying. He is France's main man. By the way, Lukaku got 14 goals in qualifying, the most of any player. But he's 77% owned Mbappe. It would be scary not to own him, but I do think he outscores Harry Kane and Ronaldo in match day one, which is why I'm picking him. He also, of course, gives me a captaincy option. He does play, I think, on the same day as Lukaku, for those maybe looking to go really differential on captaincy. But yeah, Mbappe is there. And then look, Scamacca, what we've seen with Italy, and my Italian predicted lineup will be out later this week. Scamacca's going to start, guys. Scamacca is going to, spoiler alert, Scamacca is going to start. He's 7 million in this game. He's playing Albania. I doubt I'll have Scamacca in my team for Croatia. I doubt I'll have Scamacca in my team for Spain. But 7 million versus Albania, it feels too good an opportunity to miss. It really does. So look, Albania, I'm sure Albania won't be the whipping boys, But in terms of like, can a team go and is this a high ceiling game? Well, yeah, it is if things click. Now, Skamaka against Bosnia did start as a number 9. His hold-up play was much better than Retegui's, who Spalletti has been picking before now. But Skamaka had a brilliant end to the season for Atalanta. His hold-up play offers something a little bit different. Can he tie in the likes of Chiesa or the late runs of Barella, Pellegrini, Fratesi if they start? But also, in front of goal, he's shown for Atalanta in the last 4 or 5 months, he's been hitting the ball clean and he's been really confident in front of goal and he's been scoring goals. Now, he hasn't done it for the Azzurri, but he's not had much opportunity and he's had a lot of appearances off the bench. In terms of being the main man, you got the number 9 shirt, you're starting. This is the opportunity to hit the ground running. Now, against Bosnia, he had a few chances that he didn't convert. I think if he gets a goal against Albania, he could be one of the picks for the Euros because he's leading the line for a top nation at 7 million. You could argue the likes of Kai Havertz similar. When you're buying England or France or Portugal number 9s or strikers, you've got to go and spend 10 million plus. Well, you can get the German and the Italian number 9s for a lot less, and maybe it's worth punting. That's why I think Lukaku at 9 million is phenomenal value. So at the moment, that's where we're at. Guys, my league code, by the way, is 7 capital E, lowercase NSHI. Make sure you join the Gianni Battici YouTube league. I've got over 500 in there. Really looking forward to seeing who wins that mini league. And you'll get some shout outs, I'm sure, as well. So at the moment, this is how I'm set up. Now, let me run through the players in my team that I feel are absolutely locked. And then the ones that perhaps I could make a slight tweak. I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if this is my 15, though, going into Friday. But before we do that, if you guys fancy learning more about my channel or joining as a member, you can do. You can join the squad. Loads of extra content, extra videos. Also, I'll reply to any comments in the live chat when we do lives. I'm looking to do a live on Friday. But also any comments. You're guaranteed responses from me and extra videos. If you're in the ultras, you can join my WhatsApp group with daily messages, mini podcasts and videos when I'm out walking the dog. Loads to get excited about. If you fancy, just hit the word join below this video. So let's go through who is absolutely nailed in my team. And I'm going to change. So this is one of the best things about this site or this game. You can change from at the moment, I've got it set to the player prices, but you can change that from player prices to match day opponent. And then you can also change to match day date. Now, the date is really interesting. Make sure on your bench, you have the players, the 3 outfield players and your goalkeeper that play last in the match day. So for me, my Portugal players are all on my bench. If one of my players doesn't do well, he will be subbed out for my Portugal players, right? And once you've made a sub, you can't reverse it. If you want to know more about the game, there's loads of content out there in terms of how to play. But the website, the UEFA website, is really good. In terms of opponent, this is why I'm chasing all of these players. It's the match day 1 matchup. So the players that I feel like are locked, goalkeepers I'm locked on. Defense, I think I'm locked on other than Cambiasso, could be Buongiorno, if I can find 500,000. If I find that 500,000, the only 2 places it could come from are Trossard and Højbjerg. I am locked on De Bruyne, Wirtz, Bruno, Scamacca, Mbappe, and Lukaku. I think I'll end up going with this team and just risking Cambiasso. But Buongiorno, I know will start. Cambiasso, I'm not sure. But it doesn't matter. If you have a player that doesn't start, you get 1 point from him. So what? Like, you just sub him out. You're going to have to make 3 subs anyway if you're benching your Portugal players. So for me, I wouldn't be surprised. You know, Cambiasso might come on the bench and maybe I'll have, I don't know, Germany concede and the German defender ends up going on there. I can still have a really good game week if I have a couple of early blanks. It doesn't matter too much. So that's where we're at the moment. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you've enjoyed the content, then make sure on your way out, you hit that like button and you subscribe to the channel. This week's content will include an Italy predicted 11, a live on Friday where I'll answer your questions. It might be a deadline stream. I might go earlier in the day. And of course, I'll be locking in. But I feel, as I mentioned, pretty comfortable and locked. Guys, I've done so much tinkering. This team has changed a ton. I've only decided to do 2 team selection videos to show you. And that's because I don't want to be showing you 10 different combinations of what I might do just to get views. This is a considered draft where I've spent hours of research and planning. Not saying it's the right team. Heck, it might be a terrible one, but it's one that I'm now comfortable with, which is why I'm showing it to you today. Guys, on your way out, drop a comment if you've got any questions. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.